How's it going, Knicks fans? Welcome back to another episode of Fireside Knicks. Today, I'm joined by my brother and co-host Justin Becker and Davin McFarland. We got two of us today. We're going to talk about the FIBA World Cup going on right now. Some Knicks players are in it. We got two Knicks on Team USA and another one on Team Canada. That one being RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, and Josh Hart on Team USA. Yes, there's exhibitions going on right now, but it's still interesting to watch. It's something to kind of see right now because this is kind of the peak off season. Not much is happening, so it's kind of refreshing to see some basketball being played, especially when some of our New York Knicks are involved in it. So without further ado, we're kind of just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to start off with Davin. I want to hear what he's got to say and what he thinks about the guys playing on Team USA and RJ and Team Canada, how he likes seeing them play and stuff like that. So without further ado, I'm just going to pass it off to you. Go for it.
I'm right here. Thanks for having me, guys. I apologize. My mic was, but back on it. Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, both for the New York Knicks, combined for 53 points yesterday. 22 and 5 for Brunson. Consistent playmaking, off-ball movement, motion offense. The way Brunson leads on the floor. Steve Kerr alluded to this very well. He's just a natural leader, and Jalen Brunson's going to lead very well for the New York Knicks as well. As far as RJ Barrett goes for Team Canada, this guy is scoring at will on these guys. 13 for 14 from the field. I can't believe that, Justin. What do you think about that, man?
Well, I've always been a bit of a critic of Barrett's game. I think, the efficiency is my main critic of his game. And yesterday he put on an efficiency clinic. He went 13 for 14. A game like that really ever in his career in the NBA. So to see that for Team Canada was a pretty big thing. I know it's an international game. He's not playing the same level of talent, but the fact that he even has that in him is huge in my opinion. And I think it's great because he's getting a feel of the game outside of the NBA. That's a main thing that I like about guys going to play in FIBA. You're getting a feel for the international game. They play under a different set of rules. They play with different players that they might not have gotten a chance to play with in the NBA. Right now Barrett's playing with guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's a superstar right there. So you're getting a taste of playing with different guys that you've never gotten to play with before or may not ever get to play with. And yeah, I'm actually really encouraged that Barrett had that performance yesterday because the game before that, he looked kind of it wasn't great. It wasn't the prettiest showing. It was like, oh, brother, here we go again. And then he comes out the next game and dominates, really. He dominated. So I think that's huge. And with Team USA, what more do you really expect from Jalen Brunson? We know he's going to go out and take care of business. 9 for 9 yesterday, didn't miss a shot, 22 points, 5 assists, So I think that's awesome. And, an underrated aspect of playing for FIBA and, playing for your country is, you build chemistry with some of these guys. I don't know if you guys watched the Paul George podcast at all, but he recently did an episode with Klay Thompson. And Klay Thompson was saying that him and Steph Curry weren't even really close like that until they went to the Olympics and played for Team USA. Not the Olympics, but they played for Team USA. So, and those guys are one of the best duos really in modern NBA history. Those are the Splash Bros. Those, everybody knows about the Splash Bros. You tell me the Splash Bros didn't talk to each other for 3 years until they went and played for Team USA. That's crazy to think about, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. I guess it speaks to just how much chemistry you really build playing over there, and we have two Knicks on Team USA. You got Brunson and Hart. Obviously, those guys have a lot of chemistry already. Those guys are best buddies. They talk all the time. They constantly doing stuff. So, they don't need any real chemistry building or whatever. But if you could build even more chemistry than they have, then on the court, that's great. So, very encouraged with what I'm seeing so far. I can't wait for the World Cup to start. I know these are just exhibition games right now, but yeah, I'm really excited. And I'm gonna pass the mic off to Dylan and see what he has to say.
Yeah, no, I think you hit on some really good points, especially with RJ. RJ, we criticized RJ quite a bit last season. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that, especially at the beginning of the playoffs before game 3 of the first round. We were really criticizing him and we were very unsure about really RJ's long-term role with the Knicks. And I know obviously right now these aren't Knicks games, these are international games, but it's still encouraging to see guys like Barrett kind of, expand their game and kind of take this opportunity to grow some confidence, do things that, you could have been doing in the regular season, but that you have an opportunity to kind of, make that adjustment right now playing in international ball. It's in the summer. These are, right now these are exhibition games, but eventually they're going to be playing for your country. And some players take a lot of pride in doing that, playing for their country on an international stage. So a lot of players really, are going to want to take their game to another level to kind of show like, hey, I can be this good if you just give me the opportunity. You know what I mean? And obviously not saying RJ Barrett never had the opportunity, but it's encouraging, I guess, to see him be more confident. Because something I noticed yesterday in his game against, I think, who did they play? I think it was like Germany or something. I don't remember entirely who they played, but regardless, in the game that they played yesterday, where he had 31 points, he just looked a lot more confident. He looked like he wasn't like afraid to, get to the basket, get to the hole, wasn't afraid to shoot the ball a bit. He was letting it fly. And I want to see him work on things like that. Like, we all know that RJ Barrett's very good inside, and by now we've seen how good he is in that role. I want to see him expand his game a little bit more and take some more jumpers, whether it's mid ranges or 3 points, anything like that, to kind of, make defenders have to respect that shot and not just give him too much room. It'll improve the spacing, not only for the Knicks, but just his game overall will be so much better. He'll be able to elevate his scoring totals, nonstop. So I'm just really encouraged by his performance. I'm hoping that it can continue. Yes, again, it's international play. He's not playing the same level of talent like you alluded to, Justin, but these are still, you know, these are still some of the best basketball players in the world. They're representing their country for a reason. So these aren't no slouches. So it's still encouraging to see him do this stuff. And, for Jalen Brunson, I mean, like you said, what more can we say about the guy? The guy continues to impress us day in and day out. I mean, every game last season, it felt like he was only getting better as the season progressed, got even better into the postseason. I mean, like, what more can I say? He's quickly elevating himself into one of the best scoring point guards really in the NBA, maybe one of the best scoring talents in general, even outside of his position in the entire NBA. Purely efficient. He goes to work. He just puts on a clinic. He does it from 3 point, mid range, inside, with the floaters, all that stuff. I mean, he joins too. I mean, he just does everything the right way. And playing on the international stage, watching him expand his game even more, kind of grow as a scorer, grow as a player. I mean, that's really exciting to watch, honestly. It looks like he's already got a very good connection with guys like Anthony Edwards on the floor. He never played an NBA game with Anthony Edwards before, and it looks like those two guys have been playing for 5 years together. You know what I mean? So Brunson clearly meshes well with a lot of other players. His play style fits really well. It's encouraging to see, just him play with these other guys. Like I said, grow his game a little bit more, do things that we haven't seen, but also things we have seen, such as, all the scoring and stuff. I mean, he continues to just impress day in and day out. At this point, I'm really excited for next season with what Brunson could do if he's going to continue to play like this on the international stage. Because doing this, like I said, it grows confidence. A lot of guys, like I mentioned before, they take pride in it. They get the opportunity to represent their country. They take that seriously. They don't just like take it as, oh, I just get to go overseas and play some basketball in the summer. No, they take that very seriously. For some of these guys, this is more important to them than winning an NBA Finals. It may sound crazy, but it's true. Some of these guys really take that seriously. So very seriously is the point I'm trying to make. So it's not like we're just watching Brunson kind of just do whatever. No, he's really trying to grow his game, do the right things, and just, not only do better for himself, but he knows if he does better for himself by, improving his game, then the Knicks are going to be better. Then his NBA team will be better. He'll see possibly get a championship one day during the time Brunson is here, make an Eastern Conference Finals at the very least next season. So overall, I'm just really happy to see what he's doing. I'm really excited to see what him continue to do the things he's doing. But with that being said, I'm going to pass it off to Davin. I kind of want to hear some more on what you think about these guys and how you think they can kind of grow their game and what you want to see them do, not only in this FIBA Cup coming up, but also next season after they play in this international stage. So with that being said, just go for it, man. The stage is yours.
Fantastic points being made. I honestly think Jalen Brunson, coming off this FIBA exhibition series that we've seen before going into the World Cup, he has shown tremendous leadership. He's showing what it takes to be a leader in the NBA, and it's crazy. Like you said, people take this very serious. Players take this very serious. The whole entire summer exhibition, some more serious than the regular season. And having Steve Kerr as your head coach is like he's really associating himself with emotion, offense, selflessness, with all these stars on the team. Steve Kerr is monitored. He had Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Dre, all on the same team. No egos. You have to have no egos. You have to really show what it takes to be a leader on this team. And it's like With that comes great defense. With that comes moving the ball. With that comes complementing skill sets that Jalen Brunson's really showing that he is not only navigating better than anyone, it's like naturally born, as Steve Kerr said. More about Steve Kerr being his coach. Steph Curry had an allusion to this in 2014 when Steph Curry was in Rio. That was the year before he won the MVP. That was the year before 2 years before he went unanimous MVP in the league. And it's like Steve Kerr has his hands and his mind wrapped around this whole entire Team USA, everything facilitated with it, and he's showing Brunson. I would think he's showing him the way. Brunson coming off 28 points a game from January through the end of the season, 27 points a game in the playoffs. You really believe that he's going to take a step from that? That's really incredible to imagine. That he's really going to cultivate everything he's already done, and he's not even an all-star yet. And that's what I think is coming next one. We've already talked about the accomplishments that he's already had, but an all-star, the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean? For God's sakes, the NBA Finals. You know what I mean? No telling where these guys can go. But Jalen Brunson, I really believe, with everything that he's been taking care of, navigating in this FIBA Cup, that this next season is going to be the best he's ever had. I think him, RJ, Randall, a healthy Randall, all together with Dante DiVincenzo, the whole entire Wildcats gang up there, Josh Hart included. Those guys are going to take over. We're going to have a great season next season for the New York Knicks, and things like this bode very well. The whole entire FIBA exhibition bodes very well, but the World Cup even, I believe that when we come up against teams, Canada, Spain, and might see those guys again, but like, guys, come on. These guys are all going to be taking a step. And that's something I think about, for example, Anthony Edwards taking a step. He's in the West, but you have guys that are also on Eastern Conference teams. That would be Tyrese Halliburton. That, for example, would be like these guys are leaders for their own team. So they're going to be taking their skill set that they learned in the summertime, take that to Indiana, for example. So we might have something on the radar to look forward to for, a playoff series per se. So I'm really looking forward to what comes from this FIBA exhibition. I really am.
Yeah, I definitely agree with a lot of the points you brought up there, especially the no egos part. You brought up how Steve Kerr, has this kind of no ego mentality with the Warriors and how it's going to kind of transfer over to Team USA. And I think Jalen Brunson is perfect for that. I mean, that guy's like the embodiment of no ego, you know what I mean? So, he came over to the Knicks like right away, and the whole team kind of fed off that energy, and there was really no egos the whole season. And I know a lot of people will say Randall has an ego, but Jalen Brunson kind of came here and kind of, I guess, took that away. Like there was no egos, no no selfishness on the Knicks last season. And I think playing for Team USA and also having that kind of I guess coaching from Steve Kerr, like the selflessness mentality and all that, I feel like that's going to carry over into the Knicks next season, and it's going to lead to some more great basketball, and even possibly even better basketball than we saw last season. We thought last season was fantastic. Next season might be even better. So my final thoughts on this are just keep hooping. Keep doing what you're doing, Brunson and RJ and Hart. Keep doing what you're doing. The stage is really getting set right here now. The World Cup is almost here, so I'm really excited to see what they're going to do on an international stage. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure this will lead to some great Knicks basketball next season. So yeah, I'm going to pass the mic off to Dylan for his final thoughts now.
Yeah, no, I think both of you guys hit on some really good points, especially with the no ego stuff and the coaching under guys like Steve Kerr, playing on the FIBA stage, especially like for Team USA, for example, guys like Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, they're being coached by some of the best coaches really in the entire world, with Steve Kerr on that staff. I think Eric Spoelstra's on that staff as well. I mean, playing under guys like that can help players mentally kind of adopt a new like personality in a way on the court, if that makes sense. So when I say that, I mean in terms of like what you allude to, the selflessness, the no egos, and just it leads to better basketball when you have that kind of mentality. When you're over there kind of just being selfish a little bit, you care more about your individual stats and team success, that obviously doesn't lead to good basketball, right? When you care more about team success and the way you mesh with your teammates and all that good stuff, it leads to good basketball. That's obvious, but it's just a true statement, with one way or the other. And as far as like where Brunson, Hart, and RJ ceiling goes when they're playing in FIBA, I mean, you kind of feel like the sky's the limit with these guys. You feel like they still have plenty of room to improve their games. They're all very young. They're in their primes right now at this point. So, you feel like the sky's the limit, really, and that they can just kind of expand their games to as far as they can really go at this point. You feel like right now we haven't necessarily seen any of them peak. I don't think we've seen Jalen Brunson peak. I don't think we've seen RJ Barrett peak. He's a little bit more to be determined, RJ Barrett, but I feel like RJ Barrett can still improve in certain areas and become a really good player at some point. I'm not going to close the door on RJ yet because he's very young. I'm not going to be one of those Knicks fans that's like ready to give up on him even during the season. I'm not necessarily ready to shut it out on RJ. I feel like playing an international ball will definitely help grow his game a little bit, kind of make him a more confident player, and also, like I said, the mental, with the no egos and stuff. I know RJ is not necessarily on Team USA, but being on the international stage, it's kind of the same way, no matter what team you're playing for. And like I said, a lot of guys take pride in this, and taking pride in it makes you want to become a better basketball player. So therefore, it'll lead to more success, when the NBA regular. And as you mentioned too, Justin, staying in shape, it's very important. Some of these guys just like to sit back, relax, not do much during the offseason, and I know some fans also are against seeing guys like Brunson and Barrett play in international ball because of the injury risk, but that's obvious. And they could get hurt in training camp. You're going to get hurt. You could get hurt any way, shape, or form if you step on a basketball court. So the way I see it, I'm happy these guys are playing in FIBA. I want to see them not only stay in shape, but as we've been saying this entire episode, grow their games. Because if they can grow their games right now during the NBA offseason and in the international ball, then they can enter next season really on a good note, and they can really, take what they learned from playing with these international squads and bring that to the NBA and just really, really become a much better version of themselves than they were this past season. You know what I mean? So overall, just really excited to see them continue to play well. I hope they continue to play well. Of course, stay healthy, because if they get hurt, that'll obviously not be very good. But I anticipate that they'll stay healthy and do the best they can to stay in good shape and not get hurt and all that stuff. And most of these Knicks players are pretty durable anyway. They seem to kind of know how to manage their injuries and stay in shape and prevent themselves from getting hurt. So I'm not really too worried about that front. But with that being said, guys, we really want to hear what you guys think about all this in the comments. How excited are you for FIBA? I know not everybody wants to watch the FIBA World Cup, but me personally, I'm excited to see what Brunson and Barrett do in the tournament. So I'm excited to watch that. I don't know what you guys think, though. I really want to hear what you guys want to say in the comments below. How far do you think Brunson can expand his game? Same thing with Barrett and Hart as well. I know we didn't really touch on Josh Hart a whole lot this series, but he is someone to watch as well during the tournament. So keep an eye on that, guys. But with that being said, you can follow us on Twitter. Well, it's called X now, but you can follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and of course, this YouTube page. The audio version of this podcast is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating on those. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this YouTube video. And with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next Fireside Knicks episode. Peace out.